SNP spokesperson Alan Brown.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I thank the Secretary for advance-cited his statement. Now, the Work and Pension Select Committee previously called on the Government to publish the reports from Baroness Neville-Rolfe and the Government Actuary, which has been used to inform this review of the state pension age. And I realise regrettable that this did not happen in good time. I'm sure many of us are left wondering why the Government didn't publish these reports earlier and allow proper parliamentary scrutiny to help a more informed decision. Isn't it the case that this decision now is actually a political decision because they don't want one other fight before the next general election because it's a government at the end of days? Now, the SNP, we oppose further increase in state pension age, and we are glad that life expectancy has now finally been factored into the wider consideration of what is an appropriate state pension. The reality is that Tory austerity followed by COVID has caused a reduction in overall average life expectancy figures. And also, in terms of pensions, the UK has got one of the worst state pensions in Western Europe, and too many pensioners in Scotland live in poverty, which is a damning indictment on what is supposed to be the sixth largest economy on the planet. So isn't the Minister embarrassed that pensioners in these islands have to choose between heating and eating in 21st century Britain? He talks about poverty rates reducing. That's because they're using lagged data to analyse poverty rates. It's ignoring the real cost of living crisis, which is on us just now, and 7 million households in fuel poverty. They can't talk about poverty rates decreasing. Now, Madam Deputy Speaker, there was also evidence previously of the impact of the increase of state pension age from age 65 to 66 having caused absolute income poverty rates to rise. So has the Secretary seen the IF's study on that, and if so, has that been part of the decision-making process? What lessons have you learned from the WASPE in terms of raising state pension age for the women born in the 50s, and when are they going to see some compensation? And finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, as we look forward to an independent Scotland, we want that to be the best place to grow old and grow old in prosperity, not in poverty, and not with a Westminster government that we did not vote for.
Well, the honourable gentleman raised several points. Firstly, the point about the publishing of Baroness Neville-Rolfe's report. I have always been clear that we would publish that at all around the time that my report and of the review was released, and that is precisely what we have done, including giving advanced sight of my report and her report to the opposition. The remarks that the honourable gentleman had to make about pensioner poverty, I believe, are misplaced. Pensioner poverty has fallen since 2009-10, as have poverty across other cohorts of the economy. And he will, of course, be aware of the huge amount that this government has been doing by way of intervention to ensure that we support low-income households and pensioners up and down this country, many millions of them with billions of pounds worth of targeted transfer payments, which will be going out over the coming months. Finally, he raised the issue of the WASPE women. He will know that I'm not able to comment on that, as it is subject to a current inquiry by the Parliamentary Ombudsman.